Good evening. Good evening. There's one thing. Um, when I've seen Jay Stillman live on camera, the one thing that always stood out. Now, being he's from Australia, number one, okay. Jay, I think, has some Aborigine in him. Now, if you look at Jay, look at the features of his face. I mean, I got nothing against Aborigines. I'm just making a statement. Yeah, I think Jay is part Aborigine. Go look at his lives and tell me if he's not. This is something that maybe I'm the only person that's ever noticed this. I always wondered about that. I never asked him. He's certainly not going to tell me, but he has the features of an Aborigine. Now, it's suffice to say that whether you learned it from National Geographic or whatever you ever seen an Aborigine, Jay, to me, this is my opinion, he's got a lot of his opinions about me lately, doesn't he? But Jay looks Aborigine. Tell me he don't. Go ahead. Go look at one of his lives when he's drinking his fucking liver out and chain smoking his cigarettes. I love when he goes, that cigarette was so good. Well, I don't do that. I smoke, but I don't go, oh, the pleasure. Or when he takes that fucking drink of alcohol. There's some Cro-Magnon going on or something, I know. No, being the fact that he is from Australia. Now, he could take this as offensively as he wants. I don't give a shit. He was very offensive on one of his shows. Jay will go either direction. He'll love Barry, then hate Barry, then love Barry, then hate Barry. I don't care what these guys do. I don't give a fuck, blah, blah, blah. Can I stay at your house when I come to see? Yeah, right. He's probably was serious. The Bitcoin millionaire. He's no Bitcoin millionaire. He lost his shirt at one time. Remember that? No, there is Aborigine in him. I'd like to know his family line. I mean, he has the features of an Aborigine. There's no question about it. And if he takes this offensively, oh well, you've been pretty offensive with me lately, Jay. You absolutely have been. And Jay says, I'm going through all my money on Barry's cases. He said he got three cases. Oh, you mean the pending one for Barry? Is that what you mean? The second case on Barry? Oh, that's real. And I'm not spending on the guy at the BOGO court. I'm not spending a dime out of my pocket other than the transportation that you get from my place to BOGO, which is not a big thing. I have a fiscal, whatever, I have a prosecutor that represents me. I don't pay a dime on that. There's no money output on that case at all, Jay, just to let you know. No money at all. Doesn't cost me a dime, except, well, it does cost me to get on the ferry and get on a trike. That's it. So much for that theory, Jay Stillman. Cro Magnum or Aborigine, I don't know. If he don't like what I'm saying, fuck him and the horse he rode in on. I don't give a shit. He's been very offensive to me, so I don't give a fuck about him. He can't keep one fucking girl to stay with him. Well, it must be that Aborigine thing that really attracts him. Yeah. Well, am I being offensive in any way, folks? I'm just saying I think he looks Aborigine. Now, if he's from Australia, he should really be very, happy to hear that, he looks like an indigenous person from that country. After all, it's his country. These are native people, Aborigines, right? They're native. They're native. They're really like the first Australians, are the Aborigines. He's shorter than Frisbee. I never met him. He doesn't look tall. San de Fuente says possibly pig DNA, shared ancestor with Ricky. No, seriously, I've never been more. Well, I've been more serious, but seriously speaking, when I've seen Jay, whenever you see him on his live and his face is in the camera, man, I swear to you, man, that guy has some Aborigine DNA. There is no question. There is no question. I wonder if he actually knows his ancestry. Does he knows he looks Aborigine? He's an Aboriginal. Anthony, when you see Jay on a live stream and see what he looks like, does he look like an Aborigine type, from Australia? The native tribes of Australia? Aboriginal in descendant, or. Look at his facial features. Now, nobody's ever brought this up. Why am I the only one that ever noticed that? People forget that he's from Australia, except for his accent. But when you look at him, yeah, Anthony says he looks to me to be half native, probably on the mother's side. Yeah. So he's got that half thing going on, Aborigine. I have nothing against Aborigine, but I got to tell you, between the Tongans and Aborigines and the Aleut native in Alaska, I would say the Aborigines are probably the ugliest fucking people I've ever seen. No offense, Jay Taken, please. And I'll take no offense to the shit you talked about me. How's that? Sebastian's channel gone now. Well, I looked that up and I can't even find it. Well, that's what they say anyway. You can't keep him off YouTube. He wanted to try to elude the immigration, if he really does have an illegitimate, to elude the immigration, because they clearly told him you can't make any videos. But that's never stopped Barry. Anthony says it probably accounts for his alcohol. You see him on camera, man? He says those people love drinking. This guy's like, what's funny about him. There's a lot of things funny about him. What he does, he's on camera, right? And he just chain smokes. I smoke, but I don't chain smoke. And then he follows it by a drink. Then when he sucks on the cigarette, it's like, yeah. But now that I brought it up, now you're going to be looking further. Now on the details now. Larry Lampo says, proportionately, Jay's head is double sized. He's got a big head. There's no question about that. I just can't picture him with a fucking woman, man. It has to be for money. And I feel sorry for these pay-for girls because they have to make a decision, just like with Licky. They have to make a decision. Is it worth the money to be with this guy? I can't stand looking at him. Smelly, hairy chest, bad breath or no teeth or whatever the situation might be that might apply. And these chicks, man, you got to give them credit because what they do to earn that money, man, what they do to earn that money. There's a lot of these pay-for girls that, they need the money, but some of them will have, the goal to just, be real and say, I know I need the money, but I just can't do this. I just can't do this. And kudos for the women that do that. I think there's a limit on what a woman is willing to do to make money. No, but he does look Aborigine. He absolutely does. There's no question about it. It's got to be on one side of the family. Well, if you're from Australia, that's quite a possibility. Okay. No, he does. He has those features. But the thing about him, he gets really disgusting with women, man. His whole ideology about women is that they're a piece of ass. That's all they're good for. Let them cook in the kitchen. You know, I mean, he has such a rotten attitude about women. Any women don't have to be Filipino. When him and Barry got together, believe me, there was a lot of debauchery going on. But when him and Barry was a team, him and Barry was a team. What's wrong with saying he looks like Aborigine? You got something against the Aborigine of Australia? I have nothing against them. I'm just saying he looks Aborigine. That's not a, take it as you want. Take it as you want. He does. That's my opinion. Now, if the shoe fits, fucking wear it, is what I say. If he's offended by that, I got people on here saying the same fucking thing. That he does have features. I mean, if I was a woman, I'm sorry, but no matter how much money I need, you have to be selective to a point, you know? I mean, look at Licky. Look at Licky. My God. My God. The big man on campus, which he's not, never has been. No, Jay talks a lot of shit about me, but he talks about a lot of other people. But then when one of the troll, I don't have anything against Don C. Don C's talked about Jay, just everybody's talked about Jay. But they come on the show, well, I don't really have anything against him, although they trashed the shit out of him. How many times? But boy, the one time I seen Jay get really pissed. Well, several times when he was with Barry and he was crying. Stop it, please, stop it. I can't take it anymore. Remember that one? You remember that one? Then the other one, which I really thought was unfair to Jay, I stood up for him on this one, is when Allo just went on the attack of him regarding his father's death. So I stood up for Jay for that. They went really heavy on Jay on that. In the videos they ran and the research they did on Jay and his family and everything else. Man, that was just wrong. Even for Jay, that was just wrong. That was wrong. Jay doesn't know I stood up for him many times, but he sure gives me a lot of shit on his show. Jay's one of these people that he wants to be part of the boys club. So when they're around, he's going to agree with them with everything they say. That's what he does. But selectively, Jay's written me many times. If he don't like me, why does he write me? He was trying to get me information about something. He was writing me a long time ago, but he was trying to find information and pictures or videos about somebody, and he was depending on me to provide him that. I've done favors for Jay, but he doesn't remember that, apparently. Apparently not. Yeah, well, Jay's that way. Jay is kind of running around chasing his tail is all he's doing. Am I offending you, Jay? I'm sorry. But Jay runs around chasing his tail. He don't know what he's doing from day one to the other. He comes to the Philippines. He's never going to ever wind up. He'll die lonely. There's no question about that. I'm never going to die lonely. But he'll die lonely. There's no question. Same as Ricky. He'll die lonely. It's their personality. Jay's obsessive drinking and chain smoking turns a chick off, man. The only chick he's ever going to be with is a pay for. No, it's true. That's what he does. That's what he does. I mean, we all know that. This is common knowledge. It's common knowledge. That's what he does. We could produce the videos that prove it, you know. He treats Filipinos like shit. To him, there's just a fucking organ between the legs. That's all they're good for. He practices a lot of debauchery. He looks down on Filipinos all the time. They're good for cooking and sucking your dick or whatever. And that's like a really poor attitude for somebody that likes to come to the Philippines and get women. But then again, you get what you pay for. You know, if they're willing to be with you, then God bless them, you know. Brain Damage says, oh my God, he does have features of an Aborigine. See, people are noticing it too. It's not just me. So don't attack me, Jay. People are agreeing on that. Nobody's ever looked at him that way. I did. Actually, you know, he's able to look at his face is changing. I've noticed from his old videos. That alcohol is drying him up and making him an excessive smoking. Is making him look really old. Older than it. How old is he anyway? Anybody know his age? It's hard to tell. Was he about 60 now? He's got to be at least 60. He's got to be. At least that's what he looks like anyway. But yeah, I started noticing that. It came to me on a couple of live streams he did. And I said, I'll be damned. Like I didn't notice this before. Maybe I did. I just never thought about it. He really has Aborigine blood in him. Like I said, I have nothing against the Aborigines. And it's not really an insult. I mean, if you respect your country, these are the native people in the country. They're like the ugliest fucking people I've ever seen in my life, other than Aleut natives in Alaska and Tongans. And I've met several. I used to have a girl working with me that was Tongan. And they're not very attractive people. I've never seen a Tongan. There were plenty in Seattle. And I worked with one. I never seen a Tongan that was a good-looking woman. The men were better looking. Tongan men were better looking. But the women, they didn't fare very well. But the men were cool, you know. But the Aborigines, that clearly has to be the ugliest race of people I've ever seen, ever, ever. The Australian Aboriginal people developed 3 musical instruments. Oh, the didgeridoo, yeah, I know that. The bull rotor and the gum leaf. Does he play one? I don't know. We should ask him. Yeah. God bless the Aborigines, you know. I'm sure they're good people. But they're the ugliest fucking race of people I have ever fucking seen. I'm sorry. Why lie? I got an opinion. I have a right to an opinion. They're the ugliest race of people that I've ever seen in my life. Ever. Ever. Anthony says those Aboriginal women love sleeping around. I really wouldn't know that. Well, you know, a cockroach is born. A cockroach don't know he's a cockroach, does he? To him, that's normal. We like to step on him and spray him, you know. You can't blame a cockroach for being a cockroach, you know what I mean? But if I had to come back in the afterlife, please, I don't want to be an Aborigine or a Tongan or an Aleut native Alaskan. There were several actually in Alaska, but no. Yeah, I don't know if they sleep around or not. I'm not sure who would want them, to be honest with you, but, you know, God bless them. No, but he does look Aboriginal, you know, and it was the past 2 shows when he was on camera when he was just sucking down those cigarettes like cigarettes were running out of style, and sucking down those alcoholic beverages. And he's the guy, I'm working out, I got muscle now, and talking about all that shit food that people are eating with the preservatives in it and all that shit. And he's over there fucking chain smoking cigarettes. I don't chain smoke no cigarettes. One after the other, one after the other. Barry did that. Oh my God, did Barry do that? You couldn't see not a cigarette in his mouth at any point in time. He'd light one up, he'd have another one lit up he didn't even know about. Next thing you know, he has two cigarettes lit up, but he went one after the other, Barry. Oh, absolutely. We all seen that on camera. But I think one of the lowest class things you could do, and Phil does that you know, that Philip guy, Janik, that goes on Big Kevin's show, he just smokes on camera all the time. And even though I may smoke, I don't go on camera smoking. I think it's kind of low class if you're going to go on camera and blow smoke in everybody's lens, you know, on your screen. I just think there's a time for that, or I don't know. That's just me. The etiquette, or whatever you want to call it, of smoking. Smoking cigarettes, cigarettes. Oh, eating on camera is fine. Why not? We have to eat to live. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. If it's on fucking camera, generally, I'm not even on camera a lot. You might hear my chewing, but at least I got teeth to chew. I'm not Gumby. I'm not Gumby. I'll continue to eat on camera as long as I do shows. That's not going to stop me. I'm not smoking on camera, though, because I will go outside, because I have a little bit of class. I have a little bit of respect for people that are in my house that may not like or be offended by the cigarette smoke. These people don't give a shit. Barry smoked near a fucking infant baby. He didn't give a shit. He says, I'm paying the rent here at the piggery crematorium. Can't tell me not to smoke here. Oh, big deal. I'm smoking in front of the baby. Why? Her parents don't smoke around the baby? If they can smoke around the baby, I'll smoke around the baby. What the fuck? Is he really that low class? Apparently so. Who's going to say that? He does. Who would do that? He does. I don't get what you fucking think, Mick Fisher. Fence jumper. Well, you know what, Mick Fisher? You don't have to listen. How's that? And nobody has to listen to my show. How's that? How's that? You're not forced to come on here and listen to me. In fact, I should eat something right now, but I just had a peanut butter sandwich. Oh, too bad. Another day, perhaps. But I at least have that class not to blow and smoke. I have a little manners with that. Nobody wants to see somebody. So I'd rather see somebody eat on camera than smoke on camera. You know. But fucking chain smoking, man. Jesus Christ. I've never chain smoked ever. Smoking ain't good. I'll give you that. But I never chain smoked. Never did that. Mr. Pink Yoga Shorts. And who's that referring to? Pink Yoga Shorts. You tell me. Yeah, Jay's a real character. Boy, that guy's been attacked a lot on YouTube through the years. But that thing they did about his father, that was really poor taste. And I told you, and Jay knows that. I mean, he has no reason to give me shit. I'm one of the few people that stuck up for Jay on many occasions. He doesn't remember very well. Oh, Mick Fisher. Pink yoga shorts? I don't know. I don't remember him with pink yoga shorts. I mean, I met him, you know, but I wasn't really looking at his shorts, if you know what I mean. I had no reason to do that. I don't know. I thought Mick was an okay guy at first. I really did. But then there's nothing against Barry. Barry's in the background hiding when he came into that bar, Bamboozles, whatever. There was Licky. And Mick told me himself that his face was flush of blood or something. He went pale when Mick came in there and approached Licky. I remember him telling me that. And Brevis, well, he was locked and loaded. Don't forget Brevis. He was locked and loaded after Mick Fisher left. Mick Fisher could have just took all these people and just pounded them. I think Mick could probably do it. He's a big guy. Mick's a big guy. I mean, I've seen him. He looks pretty large guy. Yeah. There's a Mick Fisher somewhere on YouTube, somewhere, or somewhere in the internet I seen has a fake leg. And I thought it was him because the guy looked just like him. But Mick does not have a prosthetic leg. At least something that I didn't notice, but there was a Mick Fisher that had a prosthetic leg. Jay really dislikes and insults Barry. I thought they were friends. These are called fence jumpers, and Mick jumped the fence with me. He was friendly at first, and I welcomed his company. He was generous. He bought breakfast for me and Gilda. That was nice of him. I met him and his woman friend. I won't mention no names. Hush is the word. I mean, it was none of my business whether he was dating her or not. Everybody was asking. I said, I don't know. I said, that's his business whether he's dating this particular woman or not. It's none of my business. It's none at all. I didn't push it. I didn't ask. And that's his personal business, who he wants to date, whoever that might be. I'm not saying no names on here. You are. No names on here. But whatever, it's his business. You see, I stick up for people a lot, and then they'll attack me later on. I mean, Mick met me. He knows I'm a good guy, and he met Gilda, and Gilda's a great gal. He knows that. We were very courteous and kind to him. We never gave him shit for anything at all. We never gave him shit. I was willing to meet up, and we did, and there was no problems. Then later on, I don't know. I guess it had to do with Facebook Messenger, when he was like sticking up for Barry, who I always thought was against Barry. And certainly he has said, that if I remember correctly, that yeah, he deserves to be where he is. But Mick started going against me, saying, well, enough is enough. He served his time. And I think that's when a little bit of friction happened. There was a disagreement on that. That's what I remember. Well, whatever, who you think you've seen in there. Does it matter? Mick can choose whatever company he wants. It's none of anybody's business. It's not even none of mine. It's not. And I don't know if they were together in a certain way. That's their business personally. And I wasn't going to ask them. It's really none of anybody's business, really. That's pushing it too far with people. Personal lives are personal lives. Leave them alone. Leave it alone. Leave people's personal lives alone. Mick can date whoever the fuck he wants. I don't hate Mick or nothing. I just didn't trust him. And I got pretty good judgment with people. I personally felt, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I personally felt that he was feeling me out, and not literally, of course, figuratively, to see what I was all about. Maybe he was on a mission, information seeking mission, and maybe that's where he got a little upset with me. Because I have to make this on my own personal assessments of anybody I've ever met. You know, Mick seemed like a good guy and all that. I think he's a hard worker from things I do know about him. I think he's a hard worker too, or was. Because Mick got money and stuff. I think Mick's set off pretty good. That's my opinion, my assessment. Gilda had nothing against him. Well, you say fair game. Why? It's an interesting statement you make on there. Fair game for what? Why would you feel you have to attack somebody if they put members of their family on camera? That's kind of a sick way of thinking, and that's what the biggest problem is on here. And that's why there's people who rightfully don't put their family on camera. See, I got nothing to hide. I'm proud of my Filipino family here. I'm not afraid of showing them. They're my family. Other people may say, okay, it's not good to do, it's unsafe. Yeah, in certain measures, it can be unsafe. We got a lot of sick people out there, like breathers and people like that. I'd understand that. Well, what does it matter? What does it matter? You're saying that when you put your personal pics on camera, all is fair game. Fair game for what? For what? So if you don't like the vlogger, then you have to attack his family. Is that what you're saying? Come on, Steve. That's kind of a really sick way of thinking, and that's the problem here on YouTube. That is a major problem. That is a major problem. They get desperate when they can't figure out what else to call you. They called you every name in the book and made allegations that go from here to eternity against you, and they can't think of anything else. They go for the family. They go for the family. Ah, very good. You see, this, Steve, a little bit of choreography here. It goes to show what you're made of, that you are a fucking troll. Right away, when I speak the truth about something, come on, Steve comes on and says, come on, do more drugs, Frank. See, there's a method to my madness on here. My God, and I've done this with Barry. So easy. So fucking easy. Come on, Steve, I know it was a troll, just trying to come on my channel to be part of the crowd. But, what just happened? When I challenged him about what he said, what did he do? He came back and insulted me. There you go. Some people are easy to figure out. Some people are easy to figure out. No, I'll be right. I always use that expression, there's a method to my madness, and so far I've been right, and things have worked. I can figure people out pretty easily. Oh, I've been fooled by people before. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I caught people's bait every now and again, but then I kind of wised up, and ever since I've been reading people a lot more clearly. Just like when I look at Jay and I see these aboriginal features, he does. Look, that's an observation of mine. It's not an insult unless you want to take it as an insult. If you're from America, you really want to attack the Native Americans? I actually think Native Americans are good-looking people, actually. They got some really prominent features. The nose features and all that. I think they got really interesting, prominent features. Native American guys, and some of the women are absolutely just very attractive people. Some may not agree with me, but I think they are. I think they are. That's not Brevis. I don't know what you have to say about Native Americans, but I never found them to be what we call unattractive people. Now, the Aborigines, that's another story. It's just my observation, and I think I have a right to my observation. Do I not? I never found them to be the most attractive people on earth. I never have. I'm not going to lie about it. I don't find them to be attractive. Every picture I've ever seen on TV or in a magazine of an Aborigine, I said, damn, damn, double damn. So is there something wrong with that? Although you'll find fault in that, of course. They're just not. They're just not. Jay has a lot of Aborigine in him. Looking at him on camera, tell me if you don't. Tell me if you don't. I see it clearly, man. As clear as my big Italian nose. I see it very clearly. Now they want to attack Mick. That's nice. Not on my show. No, no, no. Not a good idea. Why don't you give Mick Fisher some of that shit face to face to see what he does? See if he'll stand up to Mick Fisher. Go ahead and try it. I dare you. I triple dog dare you. I wouldn't. He's a big guy. I know, I met him. He would be somebody to reckon with, that's for damn sure. He sure as hell would. I'll be the first one to say that. Brain Timber says, Philippine Ayetas look similar to Aborigines. I've seen, the native Filipinos, and a lot of them actually have very, very dark skin. That's how you can tell. I've never seen a lot of pictures of. I've seen few, but ginger stop.
It's just as we fear.
But I've never seen a lot of pictures of the native Filipinos. I've seen a few. So, if he does have Aborigine in him, maybe he should be proud of that. Native Australians. Those are the natives of Australians, the Aborigines. I think that's a clear statement. I don't find them attractive, but, everybody has their own personal taste. Some people like blondes, some people like brunettes, some people like redheads. Some people like fat women, they like skinny women. It's your own personal choice. My personal opinion is that I don't find Aborigines to be attractive. Their facial features, their forehead, the whole bit. Now, is there something wrong with that? As far as my opinion? You could challenge me. You could challenge me. Oh, here comes the trolls. How many accounts do they have? No more bites says Mick is a punk. Oh, I'll tell you what, you say that to Mick's face. Try saying that to Mick's face. You would not. I guarantee you would not. I guarantee it's from the same person, by the way. Because when I got rid of this guy, the other person with another name, he disappeared too. So, it's the same person making the statement. Mick is a punk? Yeah, tell Mick he's a punk. Just try it sometime when he comes into Cebu. Try it. I absolutely dare you. I don't hate Mick. I thought he was a nice guy, but then I sometimes have to use my judgment. I could be wrong on my judgment. I'll be the first to say that. But he knew everything that Barry did was wrong, and he was, to a certain point, defending. Maybe he's like really religious. I think he is, actually. And, well, he served enough time. No, he served on his, serving time on his immigration issue. He hasn't served any time on his case because he hasn't been convicted. But we all know how much wrong that this guy did. Everybody knows the story. Didn't I? Yeah, and I'm sure, I'm reasonably sure that Mick Fisher has financed Barry at 1 or 2 points in time. Maybe still is, for all I know. Because he has a soft spot for Barry. I know that. I've talked to him. On the messenger. I only wish I would have kept that. He has a soft spot for Barry. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But he does. But, his opinion is his opinion, right? He's entitled to an opinion. But all the shit that the dude did, all the way around all the years he lived in the Philippines, he done so much harm to people. That's why I have no compassion. Mick seems to think that I should have some kind of compassion for the guy. And I beg to differ. I don't have any compassion for him. I really don't think that Mick Fisher would like someone calling him a child predator, or would dare to call Mick Fisher a child predator. You see, when the shoe's on the other foot, folks, it's a different story. Okay? The shoe ain't on the other foot. That's the difference. And they can make their judgment of me, well, it ain't a fair deal you're giving to Barry. I think it's the fairest deal I could ever do. I've been called a lot of names, but that's something that somebody doesn't call me on a regular basis. And he did it on a regular basis, not like one time or an odd other time out of anger or something. He did that almost every fucking day on this show. For how long? It comes a point you got to draw the line somewhere. And I drew the line. He stepped over it again. Therefore, there was absolutely no compassion for him. There was absolutely none. And there still is no compassion for him. Let the court take its course. That's all. That's all I can do. It's going to do that now. I think it's probably status quo right now. Because his lawyer, he's not even communicating with him. His lawyer's not even communicating with my lawyer. He hasn't even put a motion in to basically, ask the court to plead on his part for his client. No, he hasn't even done that. But there's a lot of people that give money to Barry. I know Mick is one of them. I'm pretty damn sure of it. He wanted Mick Fisher to call him one time, or he was being awfully friendly to Mick Fisher, either in fear that Mick could pound him into the fucking ground like a railroad spike, or he's always just looking for money. So Barry will kiss up to a lot of people just to make any money. Am I wrong? I don't think anything I've said tonight is wrong. I think Jay has Aboriginal blood in him. Now, you could take that offensively or take it any way you want. That's just my opinion. Go right now. Go look at one of his live streams. He's on camera. And you tell me that he does not have Aboriginal blood.
Okay.
Just an observation. That's all it is. I'm not on the attack of him. It's an observation.
Thank you. David?
No, and I haven't, by the way, the other question, I haven't seen him playing any Aborigine instruments. not yet. I haven't seen that. Got the trolls worked up there tonight. Oh, they got worked up. Let's go to another sock account, though. It does get funny sometimes, so I go, let's admit it, though. We got so many fucking losers on YouTube. I lost count. I lost count. I can't even sit there and make a list. It would be too long of a fucking list. We got a chick running a channel with her boyfriend who went into a fucking drugstore threatening with a bomb to get some drugs or something. She's now doing a YouTube channel with her equally weird husband. She comes to the Philippines with pre-existing health conditions, very serious stuff. You know, lupus is very serious. I think it's your autoimmune system. Jay is going bald. He also resembles an Aborigine-looking bummer. Oh, I don't know about that. He does look Aborigine, though. I can't say he looks like Bummer. But they were roommates, man. They had some adventures together. Let's just say that and keep it cool. They've had some very interesting adventures. I know, and I think Jay's even talked about it. They've even swapped women and shit, threesomes, all kinds of shit went on there. Nothing went, you know, without. Okay, and you know they were close roommates. He's seen things that Barry has done. He's even talked about it on StreamYard with people. He talked about Barry. He said some pretty juicy stuff about Barry, didn't he? He certainly did. All I know is he said that Barry likes him young. And I remember a statement from JC that said that Barry would even embarrass him some of the things he's done around young women. Now, I'm just quoting what Jay said to me, and he did. Well, no, what he didn't. No, he didn't say that to me. No, he was on a live show talking. That's right. No, he didn't say that. Well, no, actually, he did. I've communicated with him on Messenger. He did say to me a few things that were kind of juicy, and it really came down to that thing that it really even embarrassed Jay to be around him sometimes. Apparently there's a lot of shit we don't know. Yes, I know that he's the one that confronted Ricky. And Ricky went pale, as far as Mick Fisher told me. He went pale. And actually Mick said, and he knows I'm right, that he didn't know if Ricky was going to have a fucking cardiac arrest or something. It was getting a little concerning to Mick. I'm sorry, I don't want to put words in his mouth. He said that, I'm sure it was concerning to him, but he said that, you know, he didn't know if Ricky was going to have a fucking heart attack on the spot. See, all these people are big talkers, you know, they don't do shit. Barry was hiding in the background, of course, in that bar at the time. Then, of course, when Mick left, Ricky went along to be an asshole again as soon as he left it. Then there's Brevis, good old fucking Brevis. Gotta love Brevis, or not. Oh, yeah, I was locked and loaded. Shut the fuck up, Brevis. You know, shut the fuck up. You were locked and loaded, my ass. You were fucking shivering in your fucking jeans, you know. Whatever you were wearing. That was it. Everybody shut up when Mick Fisher came over. They all shut up. Barry hid more in the background. He didn't want any part of that. Just like when Barry and Big Head, when they met Ned over in, what was it, Dumageddon? Holy shit. It's still talked about today. In fact, Popeye even plays that video on the skits here and there. Oh, they shut up right away when Ned got up, kind of flexed his muscles, kind of. And boy, you did hear what they said. Oh, okay, you know, they were scared shit. Barry, he didn't want to say a fucking word, except after that incident, they just scurried out of that bar and found another bar to go to. That was funnier than shit. That was almost as funny as Fazio thinking that he was off camera and was naked. Or when he bent over with that, he was wearing an actual skirt or something. Oh, it was actually a pair of shorts that had no binding in the middle. There was no stitches. There was no seam. So when Fazio leaned over, his whole set of what he had showed out. Oh, there's a lot of embarrassing things about happened with Fazio. My God, there were so many. That's another person, you just can't count them. Brevis Brain damage says Brevis has a grossly elongated. He does have an elongated neck. He does. I noticed that on his Nika video. You can really tell. Fucking, how old is he now? I don't know, man, but for the first time I've ever seen Brevis, he really aged, didn't he? You know, and he has this, and I told him about it. I was a nice guy, saying and he said it's in his family. He has skin cancer on the, let's see, that would be his right side of his face. He has this big old cancerous mold. There's actually two smaller ones there, I think. I said, because I seen him, and I said, you should check into that, man. Because I had some mild skin cancer in my nose. And he said, yeah, I know, it runs in my family, he said. That's what he told me. I'm not making it up. And he should say, he's got all this money, Bitcoin, whatever he's boasting about. And why? I don't understand. Like Ricky with the space between his teeth. He's living a 5-star lifestyle, but why can't he afford to go to a dentist and have that corrected? I don't get it. It's like these people you see on the internet, they got a tumor that's a big size of another human. But the question is, you know, like, when did they first realize they had this problem? That it actually developed to that? They got a human-sized fucking cyst or tumor hanging from their fucking body? What the fuck? Well, Brevis needs to look into that. I mean, I don't care either fucking way. But I mentioned it to him. And all this time, he didn't do nothing. What is he waiting for? He's a father now. He's got to worry about cancer. Skin cancer is really serious. It gets in your blood. If it's the worst kind, it gets into your fucking blood, you're going to die. I mean, not that I give a shit. I'm just saying. He's about 43 to 44. Really? I don't know. That picture I seen of him over at Nick's, he looked like he's about 52 years old, somewhere around there, give or take. No, he really aged since he got on YouTube, since I met him. He really aged. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it's the drinking. The alcohol will age your face really quick. Looks like a geriatric ET. Okay, that's pretty creative thought there. A geriatric ET. Phone home. Yeah, he does have an elongated neck. He's got that ugly old fucking cancer thing on his face. Jesus Christ. Mr. Coin, Bitcoin, who claims he made $120,000 in 1 month. Yeah, right. And I'm 30 years old. And he can't afford to go see a skin expert and have that thing biopsied and check it out for cancer. You mean he'd rather not pay for that? He'd rather go out and buy booze and hang in the bars than go out and check that mole out on his face? Damn. Well, I got 2% battery power, so I'm going to have to get off here. Yeah, and I think he went to Berkeley, but he stepped out of there, quit. Then he went to work in a dispensary marijuana. I'm sure his father was proud of him. Yeah. Okay, guys, I got to go because, truthfully, I got 2% power remaining. Okay, no animals were hurt in the making of this video. Hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. If I did, I apologize. I didn't mean to. I just have an opinion, as everybody else has about me. But when I exercise mine, I'm doing something terribly wrong. But it's okay for them to have a little bit of free speech. You know what I mean? Nothing against you, Mick. It's just that I have to use my... If I was wrong, I apologize. But I got to go with my instincts. And Mick, you said some shitty stuff about me on comments throughout this past year. I've seen your comments. It was unnecessary. It's like part of it's all being part of the fucking boys club on it. It's all it is. When they go on somebody's channel and comment, they want to be accepted. I don't know why. What the fuck do they care to be accepted by a bunch of fucking lunatics on here? I don't think Mick's the type that wants to be. In fact, he got so mad. The last thing I heard from, I don't want anything to do with fucking YouTube. You're all, meaning me and everybody else. You're all a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. Maybe not the exact words, crazy motherfucker, but right, Mick, you did say that. You did say that. I think you're all a bunch of. I don't want to deal with anybody on YouTube. He said they're all a bunch of crazy motherfuckers or something. And I'm not quoting word for word, but that's what he said. Rock on, Frank. Yeah, I know it, man. I wear at least SPF 50 or higher when I go out. I got light skin. 1% power, guys. 1% power. Okay, I got to get off here. I didn't mean to offend anybody in any way. But yeah, I do think Jay looks Aborigine. I'll stick to that. I'm not going to change my mind on that. It's my opinion and my observation. If you don't like looking like an Aborigine, well, you know, it's in your blood, perhaps. Or maybe you don't know it is. If you want to be offended by that, then be offended. But I don't like some of your comments either. Touche. Touche. There you go. Have a good night or day wherever you live, folks. Wind down time.
There's a helipad on the roof, but we're not going to be able to land. We'll drop in. Yes, sir. Okay. There's stairs all